Hey everybody! Welcome to the Advent Calendar!
Alright, today everyone, JBR is going to tell us his favorite farm unit. Go ahead, JBR.
So, my favorite Fire Emblem character kind of makes me a basic bitch. I know. But my favorite Fire Emblem character has been and will probably always just be Ike. So, the reason I love Ike is because Ike is the main character of my very first Fire Emblem game. The first Fire Emblem game that I played was Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. And as you can tell from me having a Fire Emblem based YouTube channel, he definitely struck a chord with me enough to make me play multiple games. Ike is just a Giga Chad, and he looks like one in Radiant Dawn. So,
oh, yeah.
One thing that Fire Emblem has continuously done throughout its existence is promote itself through Super Smash Bros. And the first time I saw Ike, or one of the few first times that you see Ike, he runs up and Aether's like the main villain of the current arc. And I thought that was the most badass shit I've ever seen as a kid. Just having him run super speed and then just Aether, the main bad guy, was super cool. So then I'm like, okay, what game is he from? My brother had Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. We don't have it anymore. That shit's like worth $300 if we still had it, so good job. But we did used to have the disc of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Me being a huge GameCube fan, seeing this badass character in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I'm like, okay, let me boot that up. I started playing, and I don't know, Fire Emblem's kind of cool, guys. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It's a little bit fun.
It's a little fun. So the reason I like Ike is, first of all, you're introduced to Ike and he's just a mercenary. You know, he's just a kind of relatable guy. Like there's only so much I can relate to Prince Marth, right? Who's grown up as a prince and then tragedy happens. But Ike is just kind of vibing. He's just trying to work very hard to prove himself to his father, prove himself to the rest of the Grail mercenaries. That's kind of a theme with Ike, is proving himself. And I don't know, I think that's relatable to anybody. Just like trying to work hard, get better at what you want to do in the future. And like I said, he's just a normal guy at the start. And then later on, he joins the Grail mercenaries. Kind of, there's a lot of moments, small moments, not huge, there's small moments where you see Ike sort of like doubt himself. And that's another thing that makes Ike so relatable to me. And there has been moments where the main Fire Emblem Lord has doubted themselves, but I feel like with Ike, it's so much more natural. There's gonna be spoilers for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance coming up. I think most people have played it, but if you haven't, don't continue to watch. Ike's father dies, the leader of the Grail mercenaries, and since Ike is his son, mostly everybody decides that Ike should be the one to lead the Grail mercenaries. What I like about the moments where Ike's father dies is Ike doesn't even know himself if he shouldn't lead the Grail mercenaries. And this is where we see those moments of sort of insecurity, and we see moments where Ike starts to question himself. And the decision doesn't go smoothly. Most times when a main character is like put into this leadership role, it's like everybody's like, yeah, we believe in you. But we have Gatry and Shinon literally leave the party because they don't believe in Ike, which I don't think anything quite like that has been done in Fire Emblem, and I have not seen that done much in any other JRPG, which is just one of the coolest moments, I think. It really, like, it makes sense why they would leave, and them leaving, like, it would make sense why Ike would start to doubt himself. He's never done this before. He's leading people in a job where they could die at any moment. By this point in the story, you could have lost over half the cast, and they still put him in this role. It makes sense for these people to leave and for Ike to doubt himself. And that's why I really like Ike, is these moments where he's just trying to prove to others what he can do, and he's trying to prove to himself that he can do it. And that's why I really like Ike. That's my first part of why I really like Ike. The second is he's just a good guy. Like, he doesn't know much about the world at first, and as he starts to learn more, he just treats everybody the same. There is a great deal amount of racism in Tellius, and Ike is just like, I don't understand it. Like, why would we not just treat people like people. You know what I mean?
Purchase-
He doesn't see the Bjork as Bjork and the Laguz as Laguz. He's just kind of like, you know, he respects their like cultures and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's like, we should treat people the same. And he stays like that throughout the entire rest of Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, just trying to bring people together and fight the war. And he's also a very loyal guy as well. You never see him betray anybody. My second favorite moment in all, or my second favorite moment for Ike, and one of my favorite moments in the entire Fire Emblem series, is Ike is currently employed by Alencia. Alencia is trying to prove that she is the princess of Crimea, because nobody's ever seen her before. The best way to prove that is to kiss ass to Begnion, which is the current largest nation, I think. In Radiant Dawn, it's definitely the largest nation. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest in Path of Radiance as well. I could be wrong. But the best way would be to kiss ass to the actual current leader of the biggest country. And learning some fucked up shit going on behind the scenes with like slavery that some of the Begnion people are doing to Laguz, and just learning a bunch of fucked up shit. Ike calls out Empress Sonaki directly to her face. And this could be something that could completely affect, you know, his employer, you know, completely affect him. They could just get killed right then and there by just all the guards that are currently at the castle. But Ike stays to his conviction, stays to what he believes is right, and he's like, no, this is fucking bullshit. You're gonna explain this to me. And it turns out it was just a test, but I just love that Ike is just so like, I want to do the right thing, that I'm willing to probably die and call out one of the biggest leaders in the entire continent directly to her face and in front of other like large people like the Princess of Crimea and stuff like that. So that's why I really like Ike. Coming from a gameplay perspective, Ike isn't the greatest unit. He's a very, very average unit in the English version of Path of Radiance. He can snowball a little bit, just like everybody in Path of Radiance, and he can become a pretty good one-range locked unit. And then for the last little arc, once you finally get Ragnall, you're just spamming Aether 1-2 range. He goes fucking crazy. He does carry the very end of the game, and if you use Wrath Resolve on him, he can be very good against the Black Knight, because I don't think the Black Knight has Nihil in Path of Radiance. And you can use Wrath Resolve to completely destroy Ashnard, which is very fun on hard mode when he has like the extra like form, like he's Frieza or some shit. In not Maddening mode, what's it called? Maniac mode, Path of Radiance, the Japanese exclusive hardest difficulty. He's not the greatest unit until he gets Ragnall, and by that point you're probably not using him much. But it's still very, very fun to train Ike, because nobody wants to lose the Black Knight fight where you can only use him and Mist, and Mist doesn't do much damage. He just kind of heals Ike. Nobody wants to lose that fight, so you want to train Ike. And if you get a good Ike and you take out the Black Knight for all the fucked up shit he's done, killing his father, getting that sweet, sweet revenge is just so satisfying in Path of Radiance. So that's why I do like training Ike, and because he's, you know, one of my favorite characters, you know, that helps. In Radiant Dawn, Ike, even without transfers, I'll talk about Ike without transfers, is one of the strongest characters in the game. He's so bulky, has so much HP, he's so strong, he can fucking nearly one-shot things at certain points of the game. Like, he's so strong. And with a speed transfer, it gave him like 1-2 point of speed, and he's doubling most things that he needs to. And I have done a run of Radiant Dawn where I could only use force deployed units, and most, if not all, of the maps where Ike is in, it's him and maybe one other unit. And he is so strong that he doesn't really have difficulty until the final 2 maps of the entire game. The most trouble Ike has is dealing with like green is that will like give you a game over if they die. That's more of a challenge for that. It's not Ike's survivability, not his combat. It's other units just sucking, which is very funny.
It's
So
not his fault. It's the game's fault.
yeah, and I'm a sucker for Fire Emblem units. I can just throw it into the middle of the map and watch like 100 enemies just fucking fall. It's the most satisfying thing to me.
That's why you like Dimitri.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's something so satisfying about putting all this investment into a unit and watching them clear a literal entire army. And then solo a boss. So yeah, Ike does that very well at Radiant Dawn. Yeah, I just love Ike as a whole. We like Ike. Guys, chant with me.
Ike.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. We
like Ike.
We like Ike.
We're so
That was-
bad.
that was
We like
so-
Ike.
Editor, cut that.
Should they? Honestly, I really like 2. I said I
You
really.
really like 2? What's that?
2 is a good character.
Yeah.
Zero
God.
2?
Oh, good choice.
Common Rider 02. Alright, we're getting off track. I really like Ike as well. Like your first Fire Emblem game had Ike in it as well. Radiant Dawn was my first one. Ike wasn't in the game immediately. I remember when I first opened up the game box, like, hey, I want to get into this game because, like, I played Brawl and Ike was really cool in there. And I opened up the game and was like looking through the construction paper. It's like, huh, Ike's in this game. So my goal in the game was just to get the Ike. So it's like, nope, you're not there yet. Part 1, you gotta get through here. Get through part 1. Nope, not here yet, quite yet. You're almost there. Part 2. And I really stuck to the game. Couldn't like I could read, but like let's be honest, reading for an 8-year-old kid and math, I skipped stuff, and then sometimes it worked. But I eventually got to Ike, and it just felt so satisfying to see that one cutscene where he just cuts down all the executioners, dude. And it's like, yeah, I'm here. You made it here, dude. Congrats. And now it's easy mode. And I was like, holy crap, these guys are good compared to everyone else. They destroyed the game. But yeah, I really like Ike. And honestly, can we just talk about how funny some of his like quotes are in the game and just like how savage some of his boss lines are? Dude, literally, like his combo of Oliver when he's recruiting him, he literally tells Oliver to please join the enemy again. Yeah,
Yeah, can you just like rejoin the enemy so I can kill you for the love of God, please?
And then it's in
I love that.
yeah, so good, dude. And then in part 4, there's one chick on the enemy team who's going like, "You heathens, you're blasphemy." He's like blah 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 blah, and then I just goes, "I guess talking is not the question then." And then they just fight. Best boss combo ever, dude.
I sadly never had a good Ike in Path of Radiance. It's either your strength screwed or your speed screwed, or you're blessed on every other stat except for, how do you say, 10 speed, haha, at level 20.
Rip.
Wow.
You got to send me some screenshots.
So you
dude.
just
I love
so you
your-
just get screwed. For me, honestly, like, come on, BA Radiant Dawn. Of course, I love my Ike. Why the hell wouldn't I? He's so good. Path of Radiance Ike is interesting. He's kind of got like a Roy feel, but better. Like he's like a better Roy. Initially, it feels weird. Like I don't know. I can't explain it, but I love Path of Radiance. The Tellius games are my favorite games in the series, of course. Gods, Ike is an absolute. Ike is his own miniature monster. It's great. Like his stats can just go sky high. Unlike Blake, I haven't had a truly bad Ike. I've almost always been blessed with my Ikes. So I don't understand the pain. I just understand the enemy's pain when he tears through them and like just rips them in half. And as for Radiant Dawn, he's even more of a monster than in Path of Radiance. He got buff and his base stats prove it. If you go from like Path of Radiance Ike as this like little like youngster, and then it's like he shows up in Radiant Dawn, he's like, yo, I've been benching like Dragon Lagoons, let's go. Like he looks buff, and then he just rips stuff in half. And in Fae, he's pretty cool there too. Like Fallen Ike's one of my favorite units to use in Ether raids just because I get like 60 stats. It's crazy. Ike. I feel bad for the Arm Club because the most things they hear when I talk about Ike is uppy Ether.
True. I can second this.
Canon
As
test.
someone who's played Smash with BA.
That's
Yep.
true.
Everyone can second it.
Mhm.
Like we could go through like a bunch of people that had played Smash with me, and they're like, "Yep, that sounds about right." I even had someone mention in a stream that I was part of. They're like, "Wow, BA really likes his up Bs and side Bs, huh?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
If BA didn't have the B button on his controller, I don't know how he'd play the game.
No, be unplayable.
I'd be just A.
A radiant
I don't know if
dog.
you can press
I
the A
mean, I
button.
like my B so much. Without a B, I'm just an A. Anyway, Ike is awesome. I love Ike. I love Radiant Dawn. I love Tellius. That's all I gotta say.
Right, so Ike is pretty cool. I'm not like super crazy about him or anything. I do like him like everybody else, you know, the classic, but I don't know, he's kind of like Blake. I've never had a good one apart from in Radiant Dawn. Like, it's hard to have a bad one in Radiant Dawn, of course. He literally just starts off as your strongest, well, arguably your strongest unit on his side. So, you know, there's no going wrong with him there. But in Path of Radiance, I just wish I could get a little bit of a better one. I very much enjoy his story arc, though. He's one of those characters that you get to see a lot of as a result of him being, like, essentially the star of the show in 2 games straight. You don't really get to see that apart from people like Marth. And between the 2 games, he grows a lot. Unfortunately, you don't see as much of him in Radiant Dawn as you do, like, Micaiah, but that's mostly because it's, you know, her time to shine, you know. The game was written around her more than it was around Ike. He's just, you know, part of the world. It's impossible to ignore him. And, I don't know. Can't really complain about him. He does a lot of things really well in his time in the story. It was already mentioned, the whole Benyon stuff. I think that's probably the most defining moment for him, in terms of, like, how people really come to love him, because he's great in that scene. He does exactly what you want to see when you least expect, you know, a character to be in that position. Yeah, really no complaints, just a solid guy all around. I will say that while I'm not super big on him in his actual games, I'm a big fan in Smash. I don't play him like super regularly, but he is like a solid pocket pick that I enjoy to play a lot. He's just a ton of fun. Great guy. Good job, Ike. You've done some good things.
Any final thoughts, guys?
We like Ike. We like Ike.
We need more Ike alts in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Also, don't invest in cryptocurrency. Invest in FE9 and FE10 discs.
True.
Yes, that's where the real money's at.
That's what I've learned.
Yep,
Honestly.
that is the life lesson. Dogecoin, more like Ike coin.
Please don't up-B them, though. Alright, well, we'll go and see you guys next time for the final time. Till then, bye!
Later.
Bye.